All right, property update, October 17th. We have a road, officially. So our entire parking pad has been completely moved and shifted. This entrance into our property has been widened. We're at like almost 30 feet now. I think actually a little more even. And then we had all these weeds removed up front here, clear to the power pole. It's been graded and it's all cleaned out. So this whole area is going to be where I'm going to put the apple orchard that I've decided I'm making. And then we can go down the road. We ended up having to use a ton of riprap for this project. I think 400 tons or so at this point. So here's where we put a culvert in. This is where the spring on the property is. So it just kind of naturally flows now underneath the road. So the whole property just looks completely different at this point. We didn't put a culvert in here like we were initially thinking, and we might have to add one in the future. We're already getting some water kind of stagnating on this side of the road. It just rained a ton up here last week though, so that has been going down, so we'll see kind of what happens with that over the winter. But we did trench it out from this side, and that's been draining good, and this connects over to our other trench. So basically as long as the water can pass underneath the road here, it'll drain away fine. So it seems to be doing an okay trick for now, but we'll see the updates. So we'll be extending this all out in the future. And then we had the area for the concrete pad installed and leveled March 20th. This is what's left of the big brush pile that was back here. We spent about 2 days burning it all away. But now we have a really good view of all this open space and kind of have a more plan on what we're going to do moving forward. With the brush pile gone, we can definitely see into our neighbor's yard a lot more. So we're thinking on doing some sort of like latticey privacy fence for like this stretch right here. So you can see the workshop is definitely in. We're gonna have to get a culvert put in up here because we are making a second swamp on our property. Definitely a spring or something right around here. And since we put the road in, it's just piling up. So yeah, here's the shop. We have no electricity or anything, but just a big giant steel building in the woods. So for spring break, me and Emily were renting a tractor, and we're gonna try to do the rest of all our road ourselves. So we kind of ran out of funding this fall with our current road. I had to take a break, and this is about as far as we got. But we really want to extend the road all the way over here to like where these pink flags are, where the property line is. Kind of extending down that way, just to make it easy to pull in and out of the workshop. And then we're gonna keep having it go along the property line. So I'll try to clear all this out and dig all these roots out. Hope is that we can have like the road be kind of T-shaped and then go up this way, so you can use it to like back in and out really easily. And then we're actually planning on being able to just back the van down the road here, and then somewhere right in here make like a little parking pad for the van just to park on. Hoping just to really kind of clear and flatten all this out so we can just kind of plant some sort of native ground cover and just have somewhat of a yard out here. That's nice and low maintenance. All right, this is spring break on the property. I don't know the date, April 10th or something?
Maybe the 9th.
9th. Anyway, we rented an excavator and we dug out this, thinking that maybe if we dug it down, it would lower the water level, but it instantly filled back up. Like, it's, you can see the big pile of dirt there. It's probably a couple 100 gallons if I had to guess, and it filled up within like an hour. So definitely a big spring right here underground. We're gonna pretty much have to get a culvert. There's no way around it, because like here's our road, and then we dug out this side hoping that maybe like the spring would start seeping into this hole instead. But is it, like, you can probably tell the water level here where we dug out is, I'd say, at least a foot lower than it is on the other side of the road. Maybe even more. Work has started officially on getting electrical done. So we got a huge panel getting put in, and some lights, and so hopefully by the end of this week the workshop will be wired and we can actually start getting the power company to come out here to get us power. We did a lot of work on the excavator yesterday. We rented that guy, and we attempted to basically grade this entire back area. It's very muddy, but we were able to, I don't know how easy it is to explain.
You ripped out all the roots.
Yeah, all the root balls are gone. All the stumps from all the trees we cleared. Obviously, this was a field of like those willows and little trees back in the day. So, yeah, cleared all the root balls out. Tried to flatten it out a bunch. I'm not good at grading on an excavator, so it's clumpy, to say the least. But the ground is super rooty, so I don't know how good I'm going to be able to get it with the tractor in general. But yeah, we were throwing a lot of sticks down and smashing them into the ground just to kind of help with mud control, keep the tractor from sinking when I was out here. I'm just going to continue to try to clear along the bank here. I think I'll try to grab all this stuff out of the river too with the tractor. Yeah, might try to pull this tree up, but I don't know if the tractor is strong enough.
We're about to pump the water out of that giant hole using our van's power. Let's see what happens.
So we were pumping for like 30 minutes or so, and the battery, or the water barely went down, and then our pump died. So we're basically exactly where we were, but we pumped, I'd say, a couple 100 gallons.
This tractor is a beast. So check this out. We just gained so much space. Sam can literally just grab a whole willow and pull it out by the roots. So all this that we were cutting with the brush cutter by hand, gone. So fast. It's like he's got a whole tree. Not tractor pros by any means, but Sam's getting the hang of it. I tried it out. So scary. To be fair, Sam almost tipped the entire tractor over yesterday, so.
So it ended up getting warmer, and we were able to use the excavator. We cleared this whole entire area back here. You know, started a new brush pile here. Hopefully we can continue to work our way this way. Trying to do some more grading out here before we have one more day before all the dirt and gravel come to make the road.
We got rid of that big burn pile in the back, but we still have big piles This is our biggest one currently that we will need to take care of at some point. Story of our lives. It's been a couple days since we dug out this hole. Water has not gone down at all, but I believe it is lower compared to the road than it used to be when we just had it filled with dirt, so that's positive. Here comes Sam backing up the tractor. Professional, but see how small that load is? Yikes. We only ordered 3 dump truck loads. We need to fill and grade this area. I think we're in for trouble. Forgot to show you the other day when we cleaned all those logs out of the river. What other things we found? Doll number 1, missing a leg. Doll number 2. And doll number 3. And this cute little berry bucket. And a pitcher. Our neighbors have kids, can you tell? Was just over here enjoying the river and found the missing leg and a lighter. Look at how nice that looks after we pulled all that out. We're gonna have to put some riprap under the bank to kind of stabilize it a bit. I don't know if you can see it, but the river's kind of been cutting out right under there. And so this tree is leaning, this one over here. And then this guy over here, I'm a little worried about his roots, so we'll see.
All right, it's Wednesday. We got our crusher run delivered, 50 tons, and then we've started kind of doing the road here. It's getting kind of ready. It's rainy. But as you can see, we've cleared out a ton of this. I've just kind of been grooming a ton of the property here. Raking, just pulling all the vines out of the trees. Ideally, if I can get the road done tomorrow, then we will spend the rest of our 2 days with the excavator clearing back here and hopefully just widening this area as much as possible. This whole area is just full of this and these willows, so it's really tedious to clear by hand. This is what me and Emily struggled with all last summer. So if we have the excavator here, it'd be really cool to use it just to kind of bulldoze this area and get all this junk out of here. I've just been piling it up along the wall here, making a fence. It's Friday.
Good Friday.
Good Friday. The end of the week. We made it through spring break. We're at the workshop now. Our electrician showed up today, actually, so they've started wiring. We got the mast and the meter housing set up, as well as some grounding rods. Everything else over here should look the same. We built out the road further and the parking pad. As you can see, like, the van is here and there's easily enough room for another car to even squeeze by or drive into the shop. This pad got built up a bit, so it should be easier to drive into the workshop. The electrical is supposed to be done on Monday, but then we still need to have Blue Ridge Energy come out to hook up the electricity. So the shop will be wired come Monday. But here's the road that we expanded. The idea here is so we can pull forward and have additional parking and then kind of reverse and back down this. However, we ran out of crusher run and the place wasn't able to deliver us any in a timely fashion, so we are calling this good enough for now. We will still wait to have the celebration when we can park the van right backed up to that tree at the end of the clay road here. But the road, what we do have of it, is looking really good. For my first road I've ever made in my life, I'm calling it good enough. And yeah, now we have dirt lawn that me and Emily have been enjoying. And we decided to use the extra time of no gravel and no road building, and we put the tractor to use, and we cleared out the entire back area. I thought it was going to be like a big stretch goal for us to do that. But we managed to clear, I think, every higher up dry piece of land back here. And we moved all the brush piles to right there. So we just have a big nature fence is what we're calling it. Which actually works just fine. We're not using that area and it's out of the way. So that can sit and decompose, and if we get really bored, we'll burn it or something. But yeah, here's the property now. It's always hard to show on film how big it is. But I think we've probably increased it like 4 times its size of like functional usable space that isn't covered in vines and willows. The little tree lives. I didn't run it over somehow. I think our entire property's riverbank is like pretty great now. At least on this side of the river. We have some little bushes here that need killed, but there was a big log right here that we took away. This huge tree that fell across the river, I was able to pull it out of the river completely. I didn't think that tractor could do it, but it didn't really struggle even. So I got it propped up on the post that we found in the ground, so I should be able to chop it up. Over here you could tell the ground was sagged, like where those leaves are. And it was headed to the river. So I decided why we had the excavator, we'd dig it out. But yeah, this had no water when I started digging it. And yeah, it's still coming in. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera, but it's trickling in from back there. So yeah, this will need some like shovel work from Workhorse Emily to go to the river and make this like a little bit more clean looking trench. But yeah, there's definitely a spring right here in the back, I think. Or the ground's just drying. I guess we'll see in like next week if it's still running.